So I am not very big on brows. I actually just shaped mine earlier. I am going to use my Jeffree Star X Morphe JS7 brush right here. And I'm just going to brush the product out of my brows and just kind of get them to where I want them to be. I am not really big into brow contouring because it just doesn't look good on my face shape. So I am going to use my Benefit Give Me Brow right here. I got the little one just because I wanted to try it and I love this stuff. It's got a cute little applicator right there. You can see that. And I got this in the shade 3.5. There it is. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to start in the middle of my brow, and then I'm going to go darker on the end, and then I'm going to ombre it up in the center, and then I'm going to go back in with my regular brush, and I'm just going to buff everything into place. But I naturally have kind of thick brows already, so I don't want to overdo it, and you can definitely see the definition between the one that I just did and the one that I haven't done yet. So let me go ahead and get this other brow done, and we're going to be back and I'm going to shape. So I have all of my brushes right here. I'm going to jump right into this palette. I think I'm going to take the shade... we're going to take the shade Instinct right here on the end, and I'm going to do that as my transition shade. And I'm just going to go in with this brush. This is a Firma 201 brush. It's kind of light and fluffy. This is a brush that I'd probably use to like blend, and we're just going to lay that down. So let me grab my mirror. Above your crease, but not necessarily like all the way up to your eyebrow. We're gonna do that. I mean, I watch a lot of like stuff on Instagram and YouTube, and you know, you try to follow all of these tutorials and different techniques, but I feel like you really have to find your own. And that's kind of like what I had to do. I'm still learning. I'm no professional by any means. But we're getting there, slowly but surely. I am going to probably go in with a shade darker. We're going to go into Journey, which is this shade right here. It's a little bit darker than your transition shade, and we're just going to lay that right on top. I'm going to go in really light. We're just going to darken up that crease a little bit. I am more of a pinky type person. I like pinks and like light colors, nude colors. I am not a huge like color person. Like, I've done purple looks, I've done like yellows and blues and stuff like that, but where it's at for me are like the light rosy pinks, like the natural pinks. And to me, that's my comfort zone. Those are easier for me to work with. And we're just gonna leave the lid alone because I'm just gonna do a little bit of a shimmer on the lid. JS12 brush. This brush is really light and fluffy right there, but it's also small. Smaller brushes give you more control over product. So it's gonna take that, and I also have this palette. I don't know if I want to use a color from here because I'm kinda, I don't know. We're probably just going to stick to this palette because I haven't done a look with this palette at all. Like, I know that's kind of hard to believe. I've used the blush, I've used the highlighter definitely, but I haven't used any of these to make a look, and I really kind of just want to see where we go with it. I do love this palette. Please don't get me wrong. We're probably going to go in with the shade Ember, which is this kind of more chocolatey, hot chocolate type color right here. And I'm just going to darken up the outer corner, the outer V of my eye to give more depth. I'm going to pull that back and bring my eyes forward. And so I'm just going to go in really lightly. Less is more. Remember that. I have to tell myself that. So and I'm going to use my pinky, and I'm going to put it on my nose to kind of stabilize myself so I have that swivel, so I have more control. And I'm just going to darken up that outer V. So now that I have everything a little bit darker on the outer corner, there are like 3 different shimmers in this palette, and I don't know which one I want to use. So I think that Smoke is really calling my name. This pretty shimmer right here in the middle is kind of like the lighter one of the 3. We're going to try it. So I'm just going to go in with the brush. It's a little bit black because I had black eyeshadow on it. But we're just going to go in very lightly. These are like butter. I'm telling you. They are so soft. They're so easy to work with. And I have an itch. Also, tip, if you ever have an itch on your face before you set the rest of your makeup, use a beauty blender. Lifesaver, because I've messed up my makeup so many times. So I am just going to pop that on the lid. And if you get a little fallout, don't freak out. Grab you a super light, fluffy brush. Just dust it away, just like that. So we're going to go in with a little bit more product. You can see it's kind of a gradient. I hope that my technique will get better. Practice makes perfect. I get really discouraged whenever I see somebody's makeup and I'm like, well, that's a super simple look. Like, I understand how to do it, but it's like getting my body to harder for me to get the technique right. It's like I physically understand where the color placement is and like what to do to get it to blend and all that good stuff. But it's really neat liquid eyeshadow by Too Faced. It's called Guava Glitz. It is a liquid formula. Right on the inner corner. And do a little bit of a center highlight, just like that. Now this does dry down to a powder. It does dry down more powdery, and you can move it around. But I just want it right there on the inner corner. Just like that. See? Just like that. It adds just a tiny little bit of flair. Nothing too crazy, because we're not crazy girls. Well, I'm not. I might be. I don't know. My JS13 brush. This is more of a detailer brush. I'm going to go back into my palette. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that darker color. Just a tiny little bit. Run that along the very outer edge of the waterline. And drag it up, just like that. So it's going to kind of smoke everything out, bring everything together so you don't have like nothing down here and like the color up there. Then we're just going to brush away our fallout. And then we're going to go back in with that transition shade. We're going to go back in with Instinct, which is this first shade that we laid down right there. And then we are just going to buff everything out. Woo! Then we're just going to leave it alone because you don't want to mess with perfection. So that's it for the eyeshadow look. And then we're just going to go in and I am going to do, actually I'm just going to go ahead and do some blush. I'm going to use this big fluffy brush. It's my JS1 brush. It's flat on top, and these brushes are so soft. They're worth the investment. And we're just going to dabble into our blush. That's this shade right here. It's called Dessert. There we go, just like that. Just add a little bit of color in. And I have this super neat angle brush right here. It's powder. This is terracotta right here. It's more of an orangey, and you do not need a lot. Just like that. And if you get too much like I just did, you can always adjust it with your beauty blender. People like to do the 3 rule, which is here, here, and then here. I have noticed that not everybody's face shape is going to allow for that. Maybelline New York Tattoo Studio liquid eyeliner. Personally, more of like a felt tip liner, just because I have more control over it. I have more control over the tip because I am not the most steady person in the world and I do shake. So we're just gonna start and we're just gonna flick, drag, and hope for the best. I got that from one of my favorite YouTubers, and she is absolutely wonderful. So we're just gonna try it. It helps if you do have your finger out to kind of steady yourself, but we're just gonna see. I just don't like how this liner likes to clump at the end. It's like you get that little tiny piece of felt that just doesn't want to cooperate at all. Okay. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Pretty proud of myself. So, now, the problem is not getting the wing right. It's getting them to match on both sides. Okay. I'm not going to mess with them anymore because, to me, they're pretty much even. So, I'm just going to go in with my Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. This mascara is not waterproof, but I absolutely love it. I really started using it because I saw that Jeffree Star uses this in like every single one of his videos. So, we're just going to go in and I'm going to do a full coat on all of my lashes. And I'm not really big on lashes. I'm not really big on false lashes, specifically because it always takes me forever to get them on. So we're just going to go in and we're going to do a little bit of highlight. And then we're going to call it a day. And let me find my highlight brush because this brush, here it is. This is my JS4 brush. It is going to go in with Timber, which is the highlight color in this palette, and then I'm just going to do a really quick, oh, it's so pretty. I also have a jelly highlighter, but I'm kind of scared of it because it is thick, so we're not really gonna bother with that right now. Do a little bit up my nose. Doll Parts lipstick. I got it in the Love Me Not collection. So, that is the finished look. Hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below if you have any tips or tricks or anything you would like to provide for help. That would be much appreciated. Thank you and see you next time. Bye. Mwah.